another highlight art video. This week I'm going to show you how I color. If you missed the sketching and lining video, you can check it out down in the description below. I've broken how I color down into 3 really simple steps: base color, gradient, and highlights and shades. Now there are many ways to get color inside the lines here in Manga Studio 5, but I use the reference layer way. You'll notice if I go over into my G pen area, if I scroll down to the bottom, there's a little option here that says do not exceed line of reference, and it actually says layer at the end of this if we were pulled all the way out. Now this is something that's really cool that Manga Studio has, but it does not come default down here. It is an option in Manga Studio 5, but you have to go turn it on. So to turn it on, you click these little toolbars here, go down to the bottom menu, anti-overflow, and when you come in, it should look like that. So you'll want to turn on the little eye, do not exceed line of reference area, and also make sure area scaling is on as well. And then from there, you can go over, this is my line layer. So I'll take this little set as reference layer here, it's a little lighthouse, and I'll click that button, and that makes that the reference layer. Then I can make a layer beneath it, and when I have this on, down here, I can just easily put that in. And you'll notice that if I want to go beyond that, there's this little center button right in the middle. But around the sides, if I can just I can just put it in really simply, really super easy. Just an easy way of coloring in. Now, like I said, there's easier ways of doing it, I'm sure, but I really like the control that this has. If I was to use, like, you can use the magic tool to just click it and just fill it in that way if you want to. I don't know, I always find that there's little white gaps if you do that, and I don't like the little white gaps. Alright, now that that's covered, let's go ahead and put in the base color. Alright, so our base color is in. Let's go ahead and start with the gradients. Now to use the gradients, I go ahead and grab the auto select tool or magic wand tool, whatever you want to call it. Make sure I'm sitting on the layer that my base color is in and select it. I'm going to create a new layer for my gradients. Now the tool I use to put in my gradients is the airbrush tool. When I'm selecting colors to shade with, I always use my warm or cold colors. So I use my warm colors to shade with, and this just keeps it as vibrant as we can. And then for the highlights down at the top, we're going to make it more of a cooler color. Alright, so you'll notice there's this really ugly little line here where the shading stopped. And I use the little blend tool. I just blend it. I don't know, little bits. I don't like to blend it too much because I still want to have that nice gradient. Obviously, there is a gradient tool in Manga Studio, at least I believe there is. I just really like the control that this has. Alright, now we have our gradients in. I'm going to go ahead and start with the highlights and shades. I'm going to go ahead and lay in another layer. There's a few different ways of doing this. I'm going to show you the way I do. I grab the G pen tool, and this is why it is so important to be able to turn this off and on, because when I go in to lay in my highlights here, see how it stops there like that? We want that to be nice and smooth. So I got to turn off the do not exceed line of reference. And then when I lay it in, I can just using quick little strokes. Now you'll notice that when I use the eraser tool, like if I go over this side, I can just easily get rid of it like that. I also have that reference layer set on my eraser tool as well. So I use it on several different tools, and I'll just kind of turn it off and on as I need it. I'm going to add a few different little things here, like this. Maybe put a little bit of that in, kind of to show that it's got kind of a little bit of a shiny surface. Okay, so now that we have that in, I'm gonna go ahead and create another layer on top of that, make it bright white, and then make my brush size a little bit higher. And this is just to do the actual highlights like this. And when I get those in, then I can just take the opacity of that layer down And voila. I like to also add in, I got the highlights, but I also like to add in the shades as well. So I will create another layer and I'll place it beneath this layer with my highlights on it. And then I'm just gonna go in, I'm gonna grab a little bit of a darker color, make this much smaller, and I'm just gonna go in and just add in just a few. Obviously for this particular drawing, there's not a lot of shades that are going to go into it to give it just a little bit more definition. So I'm also going to show you another way to be able to put in this highlight stuff. What I used to do is I go up and I would grab the marquee tool, and I use the polyline marquee tool, and what I would do is just get this in, and it just gives a really super strict line that's just going to be absolutely beautiful and perfect. Alright, well that is how I color in Manga Studio 5. If you would like to see anything else, like I know I had mentioned last time, a video showing you what kind of equipment I use, I will be happy to make that. If you're interested, let me know down below if that's something you'd like to see. Also, if you have anything specific that you would like me to show you, like maybe how I draw my eyes or how I draw my hair, I would be happy to show you that. Leaving your support by liking, subscribing, and commenting and sharing with all your friends would mean the absolute world to me. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.